You guys have been asking for it. Today I'm going to deliver. Today we're going to be checking out the Squier Jim Root Telecaster. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name is Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and this video is probably the most anticipated from my viewers of 2019. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Ray has delivered for you. Today is that day. Here's that video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we get into the tones and the demo and the playthroughs, let's talk about this guitar. So as I said in the unboxing of this guitar, ever since Jim said that he wanted to try one of his Squiers live, and he said that he absolutely loved it, it got my wheels turning in my head, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try it. I want to see what this thing is all about, if it holds up to the Mexican and the USA models of Jim, and yeah, just give my own honest opinions of this guitar for you guys. The specs of this guitar real quick. So first off, you have a mahogany body, very similar to, well, not similar, exact to his Mexican and USA models. He has a mahogany body on all his guitars. You have Squier pickups. Now they're passive pickups, and they're meant to look like his signature, well, not signature EMGs. They're meant to look like the 8160. His signatures aren't out yet. Squier bridge, Indian Laurel fretboard. Now I've actually never heard of this fretboard wood until this video, until I was looking at the specs of this guitar. Very interesting. Next we have a satin maple neck. Now this neck feels very unfinished. It doesn't have like that oil waxy type of feel. It feels like almost like raw wood. Not in a bad way. Like it's not like gonna splinter or anything like that. It just doesn't have a lot of thick finish. Like I said, like wax or oil or anything like that. It feels very unfinished. It probably is unfinished. Bolt-on neck, and then Squier tuners, and 22 frets, and I think that's about it. So how today's video is going to work, guys, is first I'm going to give you a demo song with this guitar, tuned to drop B. Surprise, surprise, Slipknot is in drop B about 90% of the time, so it's only fitting. For the demo song, I'm using my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier and the Fission drive from Balaguer Guitars. And then after the demo song, I'm going to do some playthroughs, giving you guys some lead tones, some high gain tones, some clean tones, and everything in between. And again, I'm using my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, but I'm using the Precision drive by Horizon Devices as my overdrive for those tones because it has a noise gate. And yeah, my effects loop on my dual rectifier is, I think, broken, and the noise gate doesn't work. Anyway, getting a little off track. That's what I'm using for the playthrough. And so after all that, we'll come back. We'll talk about the positives and the negatives of the Jim Root Squier Telly and my overall summary of this guitar. So without further ado, let's get on into the demo and the playthrough. Alright guys, that is the tones with the Squier Telly. Overall summary, man, I like it. I like it. Starting right off with the negatives, it's not perfect. I think the biggest negative for me is the feel of the neck and or fretboard. Now when I said it's like unfinished, it doesn't have like, again, that oily, waxy type of finish like the Mexican Telly has. And for me, just from my own personal feel and touch, it just doesn't feel, it just doesn't have that feeling of a higher end guitar. And I mean, that's to be expected. You want to cut down on cost. I mean, this thing only costs $400 USA, you know, American dollars. I understand. But again, just got to be honest, it's just the finish of the neck and just the neck in general just feels a little not as familiar as to what I like and what I expect, if that makes any sense. Yeah, just the neck and the fretboard, just not my favorite. Another negative, it's kind of a mix, but I'll put it in the negatives, is the pickups. Now, the pickups are passive pickups, and they're not the most expensive pickups. I totally understand. But again, they just don't have a lot of oomph behind them. They sound a little quacky, a little bit. They kind of sound, you know, nasally. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Again, me and my words. I can't describe tones very well. I don't know. They just don't have like a nice sound that I'm used to, especially with the EMGs. Again, EMGs cost almost the exact price of this entire guitar. Totally understand, but again, just the sound, it's okay. Apart from that, guys, this guitar is such a sick platform, and it's such a great way to mod your guitar and upgrade a guitar and probably still be cheaper than the Mexican Telly. I mean, a huge positive for me is this tummy cut. I said it in the unboxing, but the tummy cut on the Squier is so much more drastic and greater, and it just feels more comfortable to me, and it, you know, reduces a little bit of weight, but it has that familiar sense of feel and familiarity, and feels like home. You know, with this body, it feels like something that I'm used to, because Jim Root's guitars all have this matte finish and I have the mahogany body. Again, I love how this guitar feels. So all in all, guys, what I'm getting at with this guitar, it's such a sick platform, and if you want to upgrade your guitar, if you want to swap out the neck, if you want to change out the tuners, if you want to put in some EMGs, either 8160 or Jim Root's signature pickups when they're released, you could probably do all that and still be under the $1,200 of the Mexican guitar. And that's great. But even if not, even if you don't want to mod it, if you just want to have a guitar that feels like Jim Root's guitar, either for yourself or for your son or your daughter, your wife, your husband, whoever, you know, you can certainly get in the ballpark right with this guitar. And then again, they can mod it or you can mod it, but it feels a lot better than some other Squiers that I've played. Overall, this guitar feels really good, and it doesn't feel really cheap, you know what I mean? Yes, I said the neck doesn't feel the greatest, but that's my own personal preference. But in terms of just like overall reliability and construction, I mean, it was rock solid. It went out of tune a little bit. Again, no locking tuners to be expected, but all in all, man, it felt like a real instrument. It didn't feel like a cheap knockoff, you know, that you find on eBay or anything like that. Like, this guitar is legit. This guitar plays great. This guitar sounds pretty good. Not the best, but it sounds pretty good. And for the price, man, and this thing costs $400, that's really cheap. And again, it'll get you in the ballpark of looking and sounding like Jim Root. I love it, man. So all in all, guys, long story short, I love this guitar. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it stock. I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it stock and give it away. I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade it and give it away. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this guitar, but I do know for a fact that I have to do a side-by-side shootout between the Mexican and maybe even the USA guitars, just to give you guys a full comparison of all the Jim Root guitars. I'm thinking about doing that, but I'm not exactly sure what the overall final project and result of this guitar will be. Maybe you guys can let me know down below in the comments, what would you like me to do with this guitar? Maybe like a, I don't know, like a 30K giveaway or something like that. I could give this guitar away if I ever hit 30,000 subscribers. I'm not sure. You know, I'd be completely honored if I ever did, but if I do, maybe I'll give this thing away, you know, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, so all in all, guys, I love this guitar. Thank you so much for watching. Leave all your thoughts down below on what you thought of this guitar, the tones, the demo, everything, the overall aesthetic. Leave all your thoughts down below and we'll have a nice friendly discussion. A huge shout out to all my patrons and everybody watching at home. I'm out of here. Stay metal, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.